agenda will consist of a brief overview of company, LiveAction is the IWAN management software, its functionalities, its benefits, its discriminator, looking at the pricing structure and licensing structure, and then the IWAN readiness review promotion. And then I'll turn it over to Keith for his demo. So LiveAction is a privately held company with corporate office in Palo Alto, California. We were founded in 2007 as a commercial spin-off from our parent company, Referentia Systems, a DoD contractor. We started commercially selling the product in 2011. We used to be called Action Pack Networks, but we recently went through a rebranding to make it easy for customers to do business with us. So our company and our product are now both known as LiveAction. We are a CDN partner as well as a Solution Plus partner, and our product is also available on the Cisco Global price list in early April. Our product is sold in these countries except for the U.S. government embargo country as well as China. So LiveAction is about three-point click fix, and one of the very unique features of LiveAction is the visualization. And this comes from the concept of situational awareness. It's about understanding your surrounding, and we implement this concept into LiveAction so that you can have the situational awareness of your network environment to manage it more efficiently. So on this picture on the left, the two divers are thinking that they're doing fine, but they don't know that there's a shark behind them because they don't have the situational awareness. And so LiveAction gives you this consolidated network view and the end-to-end flows to better manage your network environment. And what's unique about this topology is that you can right-click on any of these objects of flow and take further action, so it's very interactive versus other static topology you might have seen before. So the second thing is that once you understand what's going on in your network, it's about decision making. So on the left here, there's a Google map, and when we take a trip, we use Google Maps. And when there's an accident or there's congestion, it tells you what other routes to take. And LiveAction is similar in the network in that it shows you the path and what alternatives you might have to help you with this decision-making process. And then the third thing is about control. We provide the QoS control through the API layer via the Cisco infrastructure and enable you to create QoS policies through our graphical interface. And then finally, as you're making decisions, we help you fix performance problems with our extensive troubleshooting analysis. And then you can use our exclusive QoS graphical configurator and push the CLI to the devices to resolve performance problems. So this is part of a complete workflow that we put into the product, whether it's deploying, adjusting, or fixing performance problems within your infrastructure. So what is LiveAction? Many years ago, LiveAction started out as a QoS management tool, but today it is a fast, simple, and cost-effective way to monitor and resolve application performance issues as compared to hardware solutions. And what we mean by this is that instead of installing expensive hardware probes throughout your network, we can provide a robust analysis of your network environment by leveraging the performance statistics already provided by your Cisco infrastructure in networking devices from layer 1 to layer 7. LiveAction is an application-aware network performance management and QoS control tool consisting of these 6 components. And you'll see this better in Keith's demo, but let me just quickly go through this. LiveAction Flow, we capture and analyze flow-based records using basic net flow, median net, AVC, wireless, TFR, and a lot of network management tools out there will give you beautiful charts and graphs based on flow records, and we do that too. But we take it a step further to provide you with this end-to-end topology and flow visualization to help you manage your network better. In addition to flow, we also collect and visualize SNMP, routing, and LAN data. On QoS Monitor, We provide a detailed understanding of QoS performance for individual interfaces, application classes, and then we include real-time CBQoS MIPS and hardware QoS stats, historical views, various reporting, as well as a QoS dashboard. LiveAction can detect and alert on critical policy drops before problems are reported by the end user. And how we do this is to allow customers to configure thresholds, and then alerts can be generated when certain thresholds are exceeded. On QoS Configure, we provide the ability to view, edit, and apply changes to existing policies, as well as creating new ones from scratch or using one of the many Cisco best practice QoS templates. On LAN, we provide layer 2 QoS monitoring, LAN path visualization, as well as spanning tree protocol visualization. On routing, we visualize the VRF, the routing, the adjacency tables, next hop, route tracing, and graphical policy-based routing. And then on IPSLA, we help generate IPSLA tests through our GUI interface. So it makes it very easy for you to generate these different IPSLA tests. And then we visualize the IPSLA status, the test status, the results, provide extensive IPSLA reports, including the IPSLA dashboard. So LiveAction discriminators include the following. First is the exclusive end-to-end topology and flow visualization that you see here. And this gives you the situational awareness that we mentioned earlier. As I mentioned, the topology is very interactive. So you can right-click on any object off of the topology and execute commands or take photo action. The GUI interface is very intuitive and very easy to use, and you can see that in Keith's demo in a few minutes. LiveAction also allows you to easily enable Cisco Advanced Flow technology with just a simple point-and-click operation without having to code hundreds of CLI commands. And this is shown here. How we do this is when we discover the devices, when devices are added to LiveAction, we audit their capabilities and make a list of what technologies can be enabled. Then we create a matrix and allow you to click on specific technology. For example, if you want to enable basic net flow, AVC, or MediaNet, you can just turn them on by simply selecting the device and the particular flow technology that you want to enable without having to code CLI commands. We are a very graphical diagnosis tool that consists of color-coded status and other visual displays to help accelerate troubleshooting. So in this picture here, this is the meter trace report from the source to the destination, and you can see it's telling you where the amber color happened. That's kind of where we think, or LiveAction thinks, the problem resides. We have a very unique graphic QoS configurator that allows you to accurately and confidently configure and edit complex QoS policies, so you don't have to spend a lot of time understanding CLI. We also allow you to review the CLI before pushing them to the devices, so you can check it and feel confident. You can copy and deploy these QoS policies to multiple devices in a single operation. And many customers like the ability to instantly validate the QoS policy changes by looking at the real-time before and after QoS reporting. So in this example here, we throttle down the traffic, and you can actually see that working. The traffic actually went down here. This is to show you some of our customers would span across multiple verticals, from financial services to education to healthcare to public sector. And these customers represent the mid-market and the enterprise segments. And many of them have very large and complex networks. Most of our customers use LiveAction for various reasons, but number one is to simplify troubleshooting and resolution of application and network performance issues. And it's been reported that LiveAction can accelerate troubleshooting from 30 to 50%. They also use LiveAction to fine-tune QoS policy to optimize performance. So at the end of the day, enabling higher quality end-user experience. But ultimately, this results in the ability to reduce costs and increase productivity so that they can focus more on running their business. So if you are familiar with intelligent WAN, you know that IWAN is a Cisco solution that enables enterprises to realize significant cost savings by moving from premium WAN connections to less expensive transport options without compromising performance, reliability, or security. And one estimate that I saw from telegeography for a company migrating about 100 branches in 3 cities to internet connections can save approximately $2.5 million a year. But what better way to realize the IWAN benefits than to show the result visually, and that's where LiveAction comes in. So in this diagram, we, sorry, I just saw the polling question come through. In this diagram, we added LiveAction here to show you how it provides the IWAN management function to complement the Cisco IWAN components. And we'll go over these in more detail, but in a nutshell, across these 4 components, we provide QoS monitoring and configuration to help optimize your network transport. On intelligent path control, LiveAction provides the performance routing, visualization, and reporting to visualize the path changes, what out of policy conditions trigger those path changes, and what application traffic was affected or moved. And for PFR version 3, we will be providing richer reporting, including PFR dashboard, trending, and PFR configuration. On application optimization, we offer AVC Visualization, reporting, and configuration to report, diagnose, and optimize application performance. And then on security, we also visualize ASA NSEL network security event logging and ASR1K HSL, which is high-speed logging events, to provide some simple security analysis. So to summarize again, LiveAction IWAN management provides the situational awareness and visualization for IWAN intelligent path control and application performance optimization. We'll go over these components in a few minutes. So LiveAction IWAN management provides these unique user benefits. Number 1 is save time and money. Besides the financial benefits that we talked about earlier for IWAN, you can actually see the past changes and why you're moving from an expensive connection to a less expensive one, and what applications were protected. So it's easier and faster to troubleshoot and justify the return on investment of the IWAN implementation. Second is increased IWAN adoption. Seeing is believing, right? We help visualize what CLI cannot, and will definitely help prove the IWAN value. LiveAction bridges the management gap for a more end-to-end IWAN solution to our customers. On increased productivity, LiveAction visualizes everything, and that provides a deeper understanding of application and network performance issues. We not only help you find the problems, we help you fix them through our robust IWAN reporting and our graphical QoS configurator. And then on ease of operations, LiveAction GUI interface is very easy to use, very powerful. Everything we do is graphical point and click to help simplify network operations. So the next 4 slides talk about the specific features of IWAN management, and why I have a screenshot here for your future reference. I go over them pretty quickly because I think you're going to benefit more from the demo. So on intelligent path control, LiveAction can show you the actual path changes. Here we have a brownout that occurred, and before the brownout, the traffic took the northern path. after the brownout, LiveAction can actually show you that the traffic has taken the southern path based on performance routing action. And then it will also tell you what outer policy conditions or events trigger the path change. In this case, because of the brownout, it was an unreachable event. So we show that. And then what application traffic is moved from one provider to another, and then other detailed report as well. And in the future, with version 3 of PFR, we'll be providing additional reports such as a PFR dashboard, right? A high-level view of path changes, the reason why by provider, by site, how many were mitigated and how many were not and why, and allow you the ability to drill down for more information. We will also be providing trending. For example, such thing as during the last 6 hours, the last 5 days, what's been happening, how many path changes occur, how much traffic will move from where to where, and what applications were protected. And then on PFR configuration, the CLI is going to be much simpler, but we will also work to provide a graphical interface for configuration of PFR in LiveAction. So on application optimization, LiveAction visualizes the end-to-end AVC flows and the NBAR2 classification application, the response time breakdown between network and application, unloading and very robust AVC reports, and the ability to create QoS policies based on the NBAR2 classification to optimize application performance. So in the graphic below here, we're bringing together all these components of application optimization in LiveAction. So here we visualize the AVC flows. We recognize the NBAR2 application and the response time performance metrics graphically to help you understand and analyze application performance. If there is an issue with application or network response time, we provide the different alerts and color-coded status to notify you of the issue. And then on the right, we show an example of how to fix a performance issue. So in this example, BitTorrent was using most of the interface bandwidth and was causing MS Office 365 to slow down. So we throttle down BitTorrent traffic to improve MS 365 performance, and you can instantly see that this is working through LiveAction visualization. And this was all done within a few minutes. On QoS monitoring and configuration, LiveAction visualizes the QoS classification and congestion indicators on the network topology. So here we show the QoS marking with the various color for different DSCP. And then when there's a congestion, we color code the device or the interface amber. So you can see right here the circle represents the device is amber, and then the smaller circle is the interface is also amber to signify that the congestion is on this device or the interface, and you can diagnose and fix the problem quickly. LiveAction also tracks QoS performance on a per class basis. So within a class, we can show you the traffic and the class drops. And then we provide other monitoring and alerting functionality to enable proactive notification of potential issues, especially for voice and video applications. And then we have this fully graphical configurator that allows you to modify QoS policy on the fly and then instantly validate those changes. And with a click of a button, you can create a QoS audit report that looks at every QoS policy on your network and tell you if there are any kind of misconfiguration or issue with them. On NSEL and HSL analysis, LiveAction provides some simple visualization of NSEL events, such as when flows are created, deleted, or denied by an ACO, and HSL events when sessions are created or torn down. We also subscribe to a geo database so you can see the sessions and the associated source and destination countries. So our unique network visualization and QoS controls what sets us apart from the competition, but LiveAction also provides network health functionalities such as network discovery and network topology. So we discover the devices and draw them on a topology map. LiveAction provides real-time network monitoring and analysis using NetFlow, IPFix, SNMP, QoS routing, and LAN statistics. It features a dashboard providing at-a-glance status for the top-end device in terms of CPU and memory usage, link utilization, interface up and down, packet drops, application and network response time delays, etc. It provides a loading and color-coded status to show areas of concern. And then at a click of a button, LiveAction can provide this QoS audit report that I mentioned earlier, telling you all of the QoS policies that exist in your network, as well as provide detailed analysis of any misconfiguration. So in summary, for IWAN, the benefit needs to be seen visually to really prove their value, and LiveAction increases the IWAN value by helping customers see the IWAN benefits more clearly and more immediately. So I wanted to go over the IWAN product structure and pricing real quick. We have 3 different pricing models priced by tier number of nodes. The first one is LiveAction Enterprise, which is a full-feature multi-server, multi-user, unlimited historical archive with 5 or 6 components: the Flow, QoS Monitor, QoS Configure, IPSLA, routing, and LAN. And then the LiveAction WAN is very similar, but some customers feel like they don't really need unlimited historical. They just need maybe 2 weeks. And then some customers feel like they don't really need the IPSLA and LAN, and they can take advantage of this particular option. And then we have LiveAction Professional for SMBs with single server, single user with 5-day historical, and customer who want to use it can buy up to 200 devices. And you can buy this through perpetual or subscription license, and we offer 1, 3 to 5 year term. For the subscription, you get a break when you buy 3-year or 5-year, and the same thing with maintenance and support. We provide 24/7 World Wide Web, email, and phone support, and then customer also get software upgrades for major and minor releases, as well as all the bug fix and feature requests and other post-sales software support. And currently, we are, if I can get to this slide, we are offering a promotion for free download, and you can get a complimentary IWAN readiness review. So if you're interested in implementing IWAN and using LiveAction to visualize the IWAN benefits, our network management experts will go through a prerequisite for your specific environment and provide you with a checklist of what is needed to implement IWAN, and then you can download the latest LiveAction version 3.16 and take advantage of this promotion by clicking on this link later and enter the promotion code of IWAN to take advantage of this. I also include a website with a list of collaterals that you can review later and get additional information about this solution. And so with that, I will now turn it over to Keith for his demo. That's the fun part of this webinar.
Thanks, Kathleen. I'm Keith Parsons. I'm one of the senior engineers for LiveAction, and today I'll give you a short demo of the product as well as its impact on IWAN environment. So for those of you who are not familiar with LiveAction, we're going to start off with kind of a little bit of the fundamentals for a second and show that looking at the map, we're looking at actual 5 devices that are added into LiveAction. So the circles represent the routers or switches, and the smaller circles inside represent the interfaces. So we can see the interfaces themselves, the bandwidth measurements, and even notice the little squares indicate that there's a policy applied to those actual interfaces. So notice that LiveAction LiveAction through a discovery method actually does go out and draw the connections for you for the most part of being able to draw the topology of the network. So anything that you see in amber indicates a problem that we need to have analyzed. And using LiveAction, we overlay NetFlow into the model to help us troubleshoot problems in an end-to-end environment. So in this example, I can hit flow, and what we're actually looking at now is the flows going through the network end-to-end overlaid onto the existing map. The colors of the arrows actually have meaning according to the chart in the lower left-hand corner. So you see I can very easily highlight the web traffic and see how much web traffic is going through this particular network right now, as well as other traffic types. And we can actually show the arrows by DSCP, by address, by one of several methods, but very easily I can see the traffic flowing through the network. So if I wanted to highlight as an example and just scroll in and look at this voice traffic, I can actually highlight it, create a filter, and show only these flows. And instantly we see we will draw the path. And this is important when we look at flows with the ability of being able to track them from one side or the other in an IWAN PFR environment. So I can actually see these flows going through the network and even identify them by DSCP markings, and see these calls are identified red as EF, where the other actual flows of data are running in different classes that we can identify very, very easily. So having this ability of being able to drill down and analyze the flows and find problems makes the tool very, very easy to use. So as an example, let's drill down and say we had to look at a voice issue on a particular subnet of traffic. As you can see, I can now see the flow of traffic going through the network over the MPLS cloud or over the internet over to the actual device on the other side. If I highlight a flow, we can follow it. A good interface, so no interface drops, class drops, queue drops, or congestion is occurring. Then we follow it over to the other side of the cloud and notice an interface is amber off to the actual source of the actual call. So in the path of this voice call, we can see an interface is amber. We will double click on that interface and go to quality of service, and we can actually see and look at the bottom right. This is the actual policy that's applied, and we can see that voice over IP is amber. Amber, remember, indicates bad for us, so we can view the class statistics, and we can actually see that drops are occurring right now on this actual interface. We can also go up and look at class drops, so to be able to see and select and have visibility into the issue now at the bottom graph is showing us drops occurring at about 800K. Also within the tool is our ability of looking at NBAR. So we can also see in the upper right corner a breakdown of the actual slides themselves of the actual protocols being broken down very, very easily. If we look at on the bottom right corner of the screen, we can see that the amber interface for voice over IP is actually shown in amber, so this actual class is dropping traffic. One of the unique things about LiveAction is its ability of being able to adjust the policy on the fly. So we know that we're dropping class in voice over IP, we're dropping traffic right now. We can actually go in and modify that policy so that we can actually see the actual class names, the queue settings, the reserved bandwidth, and we can actually now see the pie graph at the bottom of the screen indicating how much available bandwidth is available to us. So we were seeing that we were experiencing about 800K in drops. So I can come up to voice over IP, and I can allocate, say, 1,024. So now I can actually allocate more bandwidth. Notice at the bottom of the screen the pie chart changes now, so we can actually see once again how much bandwidth is still available. If I click Preview CLI, we can actually see the changes that are going to be made. So in the ability of being able to configure policies in our tool, we also can actually go out and modify the policy as you see now, and even can track the changes. And once again, we can notify to you who is actually making these changes in the network as well. So I'm actually going to save this change to the device. So now I will close the window and I'm not going to save the configuration. And look at the bottom right corner. We see that voice over IP is amber. We'll wait for just a polling cycle to see if the impact that I've made in adjusting the bandwidth takes care of the problem. Now, I also want to show you that reports are available within detail from within LiveAction. So the ability of being able to go out and look at in-bar reports, pre- and post-policy, comparison reports of one interface to another or the same interface over different days, as well as in-bar comparison reports. In addition, as well as interface drops, memory usage, CPU usage, all the reports are available, and always being able to have that ability of being able to drill down in the reports at any time makes the tool very, very powerful as well. So as we can see, I allocated more bandwidth to voice over IP, and it's no longer amber, indicating that it's dropping traffic. If we go back to the flow view, I would like everyone to notice that when we look at the flows themselves going through the network, that we can actually see the path of the traffic from one end to another. So now if we look, we can actually see the arrow going through the network, but notice all the interfaces are actually green now, indicating the path and all the way from end to end is not experiencing any drops, any class drops, any queue drops. So we now have an actual clean path throughout the network. I want to show you that we can actually analyze all the flows that are going through one interface. So we can actually see right now every single conversation. And for those of you who are watching, notice the blue arrows also indicate the class of service. So what we're seeing right now is that we're seeing all the traffic is being marked as best effort. We really don't have a policy in place marking traffic at all right now. So let's go out and actually mark this traffic by applying a policy. So I can go to the 2921 router and go to QoS. And now looking at QoS, you see instantly we've picked up all the policies that are on all the interfaces. This interface for Fast Ethernet 010, we need to apply a policy to. So I actually can go out and create a policy from template. So we actually help you deploy a quality of service in your network right now with our built-in templates that are available within LiveAction. You have many templates to choose from that suits your needs. So here's an 11-class template as we're looking at right now, and we can actually see the different classes and the match statements as well. And then actually down to a 3-class template for voice, maybe the new 12-class MediaNet template would be. So the templates are here for you to use, or we actually pick up your own policies as well. So we can create a policy if we like, or we can actually apply a policy to an interface that you've already created as well. So in this example, I'm actually now looking at all the policies that are on this device, whether they're applied or not. So we'll select a policy on this device, such as set DSCT, and apply it to the input side of this interface to start marking traffic. Notice without ever going command line, up here where we're blank at the top of the screen, we now show that policy has been applied on that interface very easily. For those of you who have to manage quality of service as you get ready for IWAN deployment, we actually have the ability of managing quality of service very, very well from within the tool. You're just waiting for the configuration screen to open. And as you can see the screen now, here are all the policies that are on this actual device. And here is that set DSCP policy. And here's the class names. And see, here's where we classify, mark, queue, police, and shape. It's all done now through the graphical view. So we now can actually see each particular class itself. And if I need to add a class, I can add it. It's an example. And here's all the match types that are available, ACLs that we create within the tool. Protocol using maybe in-bar groups, for those of you who are using in-bar 2, I can actually select like the browsing category. Instead of adding all these protocols separately, I can add an individual match statement now. And from there, I can preview the CLI again to see what change that I'm actually making and applying to this policy. So within the tool is the great ability of being able to help you configure quality of service policies and be able to create new policies on the fly very, very easily. So, as an example, it's easy to go up and just say, I want to create a policy, and we can just go test. And now we see we've created a policy with an actual class default already associated with it. If I would like to add a class to the policy, I pick up all your existing classes. So as you're creating your new policies, I can use your existing classes as well to be able to, once again, help build the policy. And there's the match statement that's added with it as well. In addition, I can remove this class, or I could create a shaper as an example and see how easy it is to create a shaper. And then I could take this set DSCP policy that we're looking at, and notice I'm going to actually click and drag this policy down and actually drop it on top of the shaper and create a nested powerful policy very easily. So within the tool is the ability for you to once again easily create quality of service policies and then preview them before they're being deployed. Once this policy is created, I then have the ability of taking this policy and applying it to multiple devices and multiple interfaces. So for an IWAN deployment, now I can be uniform to my policies if I like, and if I modify this policy, I can then update all the other policies on the network with the same name with a single mouse click very easily. So just to show you as an example, we did apply a policy to this interface that I'm showing you right now. I want to refresh the screen and show you that I can actually see that path going through the network. So now we can actually see the red arrow is indicating the voice traffic for EF46. So I can actually pick a flow, and I can actually show a flow path analysis and show the path, or I can create a filter and show the actual view as well. So the question that I have for a lot of you is that whenever you're looking at your traffic going through your network right now, how do you know that a voice call, as an example, that starts out in a class of service, such as 46EF, goes all the way through the network and remains in that same class all the way through? So what is coming out of the cloud here? This arrow went from red to blue the rest of the way. We lost our class markings with our service provider. What if this was the switch and it went back to blue and finished the rest of the way in blue? We didn't have our trust enabled in the switch as an example. And the help with you with this is the ability of running the audit report. So anytime that you look and need help within the tool, we have best practices that are built in, and we can easily analyze every single policy that's on every single interface of your network with a nice report. So we have this ability to instantly audit your report and be able to see, once again, the details can easily be seen as well of any of the policies very, very easily. But in addition, the issues. So you see, based off Cisco best practices, we're monitoring your QoS policies and also will help notify you when changes are being made that you may want to look into. So once again, the ability for us to be able to help manage quality of service is very, very easy. And the overlay of the flows becomes so important. What if you're looking at, once again, a single flow, or if I wanted to monitor a particular application through the network as an example, so I can actually see that application that's going through the network from end to end, and I can see in this particular case going left to right, the arrow is purple, which is being shown as CS2 or DSCP16, but once again, right to left is being shown blue as best effort. So you see on my network I have a problem I need to investigate very, very easily, and we can do that using LiveAction. Now, in the example of PFRs we see in the network today, let's take this example that I'm actually showing you right now of where we have several devices here in the network, and I've filtered on voice traffic. So the arrow that we're seeing right now is just the voice traffic going through the network. So as you can see with LiveAction, we're very dynamic in how we actually show the actual path through the network. So we can actually see the traffic going the northern route. So within LiveAction, we're actually monitoring the status of the actual traffic in real time and can actually show you where problems are occurring. So in this example, as you can see, I got the traffic that's heading the north path through the network, and we can see that traffic that's actually going through the north path. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to simulate a failure within the tool using entropy. So I can actually generate bandwidth, delay, loss, latency, etc. So I'm going to actually start this actual test, and then we can actually fail this one link to see the effect of PFR. Now I've actually started, so we actually can now look and monitor the actual PFR flows themselves that we can see going through the network. So using LiveAction, I've selected PFR, and notice on the right-hand side, we can now see the actual status and criteria change by seeing the red indicator. So we are keying alerts, and we do see an unreachable status is occurring right now with the path of the PFR that we were seeing earlier. So what we can do is I actually can drill down into the alerts, and from the alerts, I can actually filter out just the PFR alerts to have better detail of the actual problem that we're seeing. So we'll filter on those alerts. And with the alerts being filtered on, I can now see the actual problem and where it was occurring. So in a graph that's shown, it actually will give me the ability of being able to monitor and see where the actual failure occurred in the actual flow. So see now, on the actual reset, where the flows were actually following the top link going through the network, we can actually now see the flows starting to flow through the bottom side of the network. So using LiveAction, we were able to key off of an alert, see the alert, and then notice the problem, and then being able to drill down to actually see the issue. So now we can actually see the flows are going through the bottom path of the network, and we can actually see the change that PFR had effect. So this is once again using the ability of LiveAction to follow the flows through the network very effectively from one end to the other, and being able to see those changes occur in real time in key alerts and alarms very, very easily. In addition of being able to support PFR in the tool, we also have the ability of being able to support multiple flow types. So as we look toward the future in deployment of IWAN, we're also looking to use AVC. And AVC also gives me the ability of being able to look at N-bar2 information that's going through the network. So now I can actually get a breakdown of application performance even better than I have before by being able to see the applications and being able to monitor the actual response time measurements. So as you can see, if I scroll over to the right, we can actually see access delay, network delay, and notice network delay alerts are being keyed on. In addition, we can actually scroll over and see client delay and server delay. So the ability of being able to monitor response time performance using AVC that's built into the Cisco devices today, such as the ISR G2s, allow me to have application visibility that I haven't had in the past. So we can go to reports and go to flow, and actually look at those AVC flows from the standpoint of being able to analyze the actual applications. So notice I've run an application report, and we have a list of some of the applications that are running right now. I can actually pick the HTTP application and right mouse click and drill down over time. And let's say for the last hour we were having a problem. I can actually go to the last hour and execute the report. And as we see in the report, client delay is amber and server delay is blue. And notice in the graph, we instantly can see where the delay is for this HTTP application. So it's easy for us to be able to recognize using AVC application performance and where problems may lie very easily now by using the new flow template that's available from Cisco in the ISR G2 devices. But we also have the ability of monitoring another flow template, which is MediaNet as well. So from the MediaNet standpoint, this is actually showing me the ability of looking at voice and video traffic. And now, as you can see as I scroll over, this different flow template now is presenting packet loss percentages and jitter measurements. And notice anything in red is being keyed in alerts. So now we can actually, for the first time, see latency and see jitter measurements of our real voice and data calls going through the network as well as video in real time now using the multiple flow types that are supported in the ISR G2s, the ASR, as well as many other devices today support MediaNet all the way down to your 3750Xs. As an example, gives you the ability of looking at MediaNet flows. So, you know, the strength in the tool that we see for the future is being able to monitor traffic through the network. So as you were looking at before, which path is occurring and how is my traffic flowing through the network? I can go out and look at all my voice and video traffic as an example. So I'll bring up MediaNet and we can actually look at these flows. So as you can see, I can actually draw the flows through the network right now from one end to the other. And from a table view, we actually can show you every single conversation again very, very easily. As you can see in this table now, I'm tracking all the conversations and have the loss measurements that you would like, the delay measurements as well. But what is nice is the ability for me to be able to select a conversation and be able to execute media trace or a flow path analysis. The media trace actually goes out and issues commands to the devices to be able to follow the path of the data and to indicate where jitter actually is occurring. So right now, I'm sending commands to the first router to say, monitor this particular address and port through the network. And then it goes to the next device and the next device in the network. And if the device in its path doesn't support media trace, it'll still, once again, pass the information along. And the devices that can support media trace will go ahead and implement the test. So it's nice now to be able to see the path going through the network from one end to the other now, being able to see the devices it's going through. So we're actually monitoring this actual voice, or in this case, a video stream, all the way through the network. And when we refresh, we can actually see jitter, packet loss, packet expected, and packet loss percentage measurements are being shown. If I follow it back through the network, notice I can follow it back to the Amber interface. We can drill down as we looked before. And look, this time we were looking at video issue, and there's interactive video dropping traffic shown in amber. Everything I'm showing you now is being reflected back into alert very, very easily. So now we actually have the ability of being able to show you the alerts and the alarms and be able to be notified ahead of time specific problems that are occurring within LiveAction. If any of you have any questions of what I've shown so far, you can actually go to the Q&A window, and my engineers are there for us right now to be able to help you once again find problems and be able to help you answer those. We're also showing in-bar. I think that's very important that would be able to say that we can recognize in-bar in the tool to be able to see the applications in depth. For those of you who are deploying Microsoft Office 365 or Lincoln as an example, to be able to help you classify that data and monitor it very, very easily. In addition, being able to drill down, the ability of being able to go from this is a SNMP view looking at a QoS information, jumping to an application view is very strong within the tool. As you can see, I can see the different types of traffic that's running. I can pick a type of traffic and actually go, I would like to analyze that traffic and see who that is. And I could run an address pair report. Then I can actually see that traffic, and then from there, I could actually turn around and drill down again, and I could actually see, as an example, what class of service they were running in, if I needed to see that as an example, or I could go back to that address pair report again, and then be able to show you every single flow. So the drill down is certainly there in the tool to be able to find and analyze problems very, very easily using, once again, LiveAction. So, you know, the reports that we do, we're tabulating in the background. We never aggregate the data, so that the actual results of the reports are very accurate. So as I look and run, example, as an application report, the ability of being able to run an application report is great. But look how I can do like flow.dscp equal EF as an example, and place that into the search window and execute the report again and just see the applications that are running EF traffic, and then of course drill down and analyze those and see those by address pair as an example. So the drill down that you need to be able to analyze traffic is certainly there from within the tool. And it's all going back to the ability of being able to support multiple flow types in the future, MediaNet, AVC, NSEL, as we mentioned earlier, the security event log. So off your ASAs and ASRs, notice I'm keying the flow alerts. We can actually see flows denied, what flows are created. So being able to monitor the different flow types is very, once again, important, as well as PFR flows, to be able to have a complete view of what is happening in the network from one end to the other. The tool also has routing functionality in it as well, so I'm actually monitoring the adjacencies that are going through the network. So I think of those of you that are on the call, nobody knows about an interface or a path going down before I do, so I'm actually monitoring the adjacency table, as you can see. So this ability is very unique in the tool of being able to see the adjacencies, and then if anything goes wrong, we notify, alert, and alarm you very easily. For those of you that do IPSLA tests as well, the ability of being able to see the test in real time. So as you can see in this example, there's the green arrows, and the green arrows are actually showing a representation of the test right now. So as we can see, these tests, once again, for voice over IP is an IPSLA jitter test. I can see latency, jitter, loss, and the MAL score. And this is a good time to bring up the dashboard. So from a main view, you see I have a complete view of the network, from CPU and memory to top drops to my WAN interfaces as an example. We show a complete QoS view of input-output bandwidth, drops by bit rate, input-output, as well as application bandwidth. We also have flow as well. So now we have the flow view of being able to see the addresses, the destination countries, and you can even drill down from within the actual flows from this point in the dashboard view and view top analysis or destination address report. And as we were speaking of, the IPSLA. So here the last 100 alerts now are being shown, and we can actually see a graph. So if I wanted to see an errors report of IPSLA, I could certainly then pick one of those tests and then show a time series, and then in that report here is latency, jitter, and loss, and the MAL score being shown for destination source and destination for latency and jitter as an example. So once again, IPSLA is an important part in being able to monitor the path within the network. We make it easy to deploy IPSLA. So I can simply just go up and click a quick test, and look, I can quickly just go ahead and make a jitter test. I can select Fast Ethernet 0. This is the interface I'm sourcing from on the right, and then simply click on any interface that's in the LiveAction map, and then I can actually put in the destination address, as we see right now, and then save to device. Allows me to save the test very easily. So we have this capability of being able to go out and start and stop the test and then monitor the results very, very easily from LiveAction, and then drill down to the appropriate results when needed. At the bottom of the screen is the IPSLA VO. For those of you familiar with MediaNet, there is a video operation test that allows you to be able to load the network with video streams to be able to simulate and have also for capacity planning. We actually make it easy in our test setup to be able to take away the complexity of command line and being able to set the test up very easily. So you can just simply select the number of video streams, the jitter test itself, and the type of video you want to simulate into the network, the type of topology you have, a mesh or maybe a hub and spoke, and then you simply select your devices and interfaces, and the time you want to run this test, since it's a stress test. And then what we do is we go out and remove all the heavy lifting for you. I actually go out and build the configuration. And here are the configurations that are pushed out to the devices to start this, once again, IPSLA video operation test. And from the reports window, we have the reports, as you can see, for IPSLA. So I could run a video operation time series report, and there's my jitter loss and latency being shown. So it is possible to go ahead and establish baselines for video on the network simply by using the Cisco equipment that you have today. Last is the LAN functionality, and I am actually analyzing a VLAN path, as you can see right now. Green means good, so we can actually see the path and notice that actually in this path of VLAN 1 that even over this trunk, everything is looking good. But I've got the backbone over here on the right, and if we follow the actual VLAN 1, we're looking for amber interfaces. And notice on the 2921 here, or the 2960, we actually see an amber interface. We'll drill down, and now from VLAN 1, we can actually see the port channel and gigabit Ethernet 01 is showing amber, which is going to indicate input drops on the next update. So we're showing the input-output bandwidth, the truss, the VLAN, the connected device, and the connected interface are all being displayed now. And the thought here is being able to say that I can track down a VLAN problem globally down to which interface is causing trouble, which I'm showing you right now. In addition, this is a 6509 that we're looking at right now, and we can see the interfaces, VLANs, we can see the trunk ports and the access ports that are active, but also we can show you the layer 2 QoS. So on this actual switch, in the next update, I will show you the interfaces that are experiencing queue drop. So we show the interface name, the port type, the direction, the queue, the threshold, the drop packet, the drop rate, and the cause map, all being shown very easily. So let's say that I had a problem of wanting to be able to look at, as an example, maybe voice and video. I'll go up and select priority queues, and as we can see, these are the queues that are dropping traffic on this switch right now. So it wasn't an interface drop, it wasn't a class drop. This is actually a queue drop problem that we were experiencing right now that we can show. So having that functionality at hand in the tool as well is very powerful. As we can see in the last example, we can actually go out and monitor a VLAN. So I can actually draw that VLAN through the network very easily, and we are looking for amber interfaces, and everything looks good, but I like how I can see the tab, but I also like the ability of being able to show the spanning tree configuration. So as we can see, we can actually see the actual root bridge. We can see which links are forwarding and to see which links are blocking. So today within LiveAction, as you can see, there's multiple functionalities between quality of service, flow, routing, IPSLA, and LAN. So with the ability of us once again holding the latest edge, we are once again helping IWAN deployment with PFR and being able to monitor those paths through the network and highlight when issues occur and then be able to take corrective action. So this has been an overview today of LiveAction functionality, how we work and integrate with IWAN.